All right. Good afternoon. We'll call this executive session, public hearing into session, I guess. First thing is, do I read this? We haven't talked? Okay. All right. At this time, I'll read the updates and/or changes negotiated between the FCTA and Franklin Community Schools for the 2024-25 school year. First up, $2,390 pay raise per teacher, $1,700 for evaluation, $345 for experience, and $345 for instructional leadership. 2% one-time stipend calculated from base salary. District covered the 3.6 increase in health care premiums and continues a $500 stipend for HSA participants. Reestablished the new hire teacher salary schedule with zero year at $50,000, 25 years at $70,250. Preliminary calculations show catch-up raises will occur for some teachers with years of experience between 1 and 4 years, ranges between $6.40 to $776.25. Next, increasing ability to bank 120 sick days from 90 days, still add $1,000 to salary base at 90 accumulated days. Next would be district will begin adding 7 sick days per year to a teacher's accruals rather than 3 days per year when a teacher is hired that has accumulated sick days at another district. After completing year 5, the district will add all remaining days with a maximum of 120 days prior to the 6th year of employment. For existing employees who have already completed 5 years with FCS prior to this contract as a certified teacher, all remaining accrued days will be added to their FCS sick days with a maximum of 120 days. Added the $2,500 and $7,500 levels to retirement buyout as follows. The board shall place into each retiree's VEBA must be vested one account at a one-time sum of $2,500 as compensation for 60 days of unused sick days, $5,000 as compensation for 90 days of unused sick days, current, $7,500 as compensation for 120 days of unused sick days. Next, no increases in ECA assignments. Amounts will remain based on 23-24 starting teacher salary of $47,610. Offer retirement buyout in May 2025. These were the terms of the last buyout, and we can start negotiations here. Number 1, a maximum of 10 retirement buyouts will be granted for the buyout terms outlined below. The board will review and consider for approval any request greater than 10. Number 2, a one-time retirement incentive of $6,000 for the retirements effective June 30th, 2025 will be deposited into the retirees' VEBA fund. Number 3, a buyout of all accumulated sick days at a rate of $90 per day. The sick day buyout will be deposited into the retirees' VEBA fund. Next up, there are times when it is necessary to hire retired teachers for absences in the classroom or other certified positions. The compensation for this assignment will be negotiated by the superintendent with a maximum salary of 25 years experience per the new hire placement base salary schedule, see Appendix A. The salary increases, stipend, and retroactive pay will be distributed on November 24th, 2024 paycheck. Are there any questions or comments from the public?
President Sappenfield, I just want to thank FCTA for their collaboration and partnership as we've talked about this today, and we look forward to compensating our teachers and the different aspects, and continue to have a great year. But also just want to thank you to Joe and Michael for what they did, and also for Chaz Hill, who's a part of that conversation as well.
All right.
And lastly, can I just tout Tina Gross, our CFO? She served as the key negotiator negotiator in this process. Did a great job, and behind the scenes, did a lot of work to get us here today. And we're excited to, get our starting salary to 50,000 and different things. But I want to thank Tina for all of her hard work in this collective bargaining phase.
Thank you.
All right. Move on to action items.
Yes, thank you. We are here today to ask about bona fide drivers. I'm going to have Ms. Crows talk a little bit about that.
Well, as you know, we've had a hard time recruiting bus drivers this year, and that has resulted in routes not being covered, kids getting to school late. We have some leads on some potential bus drivers, but at least half of those require health care benefits. So we are requesting that we not only add 4 bona fide positions, new positions, well, not new positions, but new bona fide. So the health care benefits, they already have life insurance, it'll just be health care. And an additional 4 because we have 4 existing drivers on the waiting list. We don't want to jump over their heads. I don't think everyone will take the health insurance, but if they did, it would be a maximum investment of about $136,000. So we are requesting to go ahead and add those 4 bona fide positions so that we can recruit drivers from another district.
Where would that put us overall from a shortage or capacity?
I think that would fill all the positions
All the
we have
positions.
if we indeed have enough positions.
Okay.
So we kind of have to get there and change the routing because they've been doing the best they can with the number of drivers we have.
Sure. Sure.
So we filled the 4 that are on the waiting list. How many more do we have that would?
On the waiting list?
Yeah, would sign up.
I don't think any.
Okay.
Yeah, that. I think the longest person on the waiting list has just been on there since maybe last fall. So that would clear the existing waiting list.
Okay.
I think another positive impact to this is that we will be able to get the routes covered in the midday section. Where we're really struggling now, so it causes some overtime and some other conflicts. So Ms. Gross, Mr. Betts, and our new director will have a chance to look at that. But this will be a benefit to help with that as well. And additional benefit, hopefully, would be able to keep our mechanic in the garage, because right now when we have, when we're short, he has to go drive. He has a CDL. He's very gracious to do that, but that also has unintended consequences when the mechanic side needs to be done, or when something happens out on the road, we don't get that covered. So with these 8 additional spots, we should be in a much better position, probably the healthiest we've been in many, many years in this space.
I also talked to Benji about, Drew has been doing some behind the scenes work to renegotiate our contracts for fuel and propane. So Benji and I talked about the fact that we have to make up this money somehow, either through overtime or savings in those categories. So we will be committed to doing that.
I would assume the pool of sub bus drivers is pretty small, right? Too, so that's even challenging.
We use them every day.
Yeah. Okay.
And we even have one reserve driver position that is just kind of always there every day, but not necessarily. The idea is for them to be reserved, but they drive every day, so.
Okay. Questions or comments or entertain motions?
Move for approval.
Move first. Second. All those approved signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Any other board or administrative comments before we adjourn?
I think one, just to make note of, we've talked about this, but I want to thank Mr. Murray. In 21st, you're gonna see his resignation, but he submitted his resignation, and he'll be moving on to another job. We have actively engaged person in that new spot. You'll also get that person coming up on the 21st. We want to thank Mr. Murray for those things that he's done to help us kind of get back on that right track for us, and we'll look forward to continue to move forward.
All right. With that, we'll adjourn this meeting. Thank you.